I thought you froze. Were you faking me out?
I wasn't.
Or you literally froze?
I literally froze. I totally was thinking something else. Oh my God, rabbits, squirrels. I'm all over the place. All right. Welcome to Mixing at Midlife, the weekly podcast for women in their 50s and beyond who want to explore this incredible age by being more adventurous and more curious. I'm Terry.
And I'm Alyssa. And on this week's episode, we're talking about the fantasy suite episode of The Golden Bachelor, which might be a little bit different from past Bachelors, but we'll see. And just kind of doing a little catch up. A few actually have some weekend watches for you, Terry.
I'm so glad, especially with the holiday coming, and I'll be able to watch TV. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
For the people who don't love the Golden Bachelor discussion, don't worry about it. We're really not going to do an in-depth recap. There were a couple of really kind of big topics in there that came up that I wanted to talk about a little bit more, just in the realm of our lives and mature lives. So
yeah, I really think it's kind of a starting point for other discussions that maybe we don't think about all that often. We're kind of living in our own little world, but it's interesting.
Totally living in my own world.
Interesting things to ponder.
Cold
but first,
medicine.
Can you tell I am wearing my purple today?
I did see that. You have your JMU shirt on.
I have my JMU. James Madison University is college game day today. And I had one kid that went there, but we're very much following them in sports. Just if you haven't been in the know on this, Terry, and I know you've been following college football so closely.
I have not, but I actually like college football better than I like professional football.
Well, you may not know that JMU switched over, went up a league, is in higher league, Sunbelt League this year. They are right now 10-0.
Wow.
However, they have been denied being in a bowl because NCAA rules the first year you can't be in a bowl.
Oh, that's a shame.
So the college went and wrote this letter that NCAA denied it. So anyway, and ESPN has decided they are going to be college game day today. The Jonas Brothers are actually in Harrisonburg, Virginia today performing. So it's a big deal.
That's kind of a big deal. Your daughter must be
she's out in California. They're going to be There's a pretty big group of ex-JMU students out there. So they're going to be watching together.
I always find that such a great way to connect with people. If you find a sports bar or something that has your college playing. I've heard of people doing this in France, in Italy, like finding American pubs or pubs not in France and Italy, but, cafes that will play American sports, and people will go on their game day. And it's a great way to keep community. I think that's kind of fun. I have a friend whose son plays in a fairly big league, and she is pretty amazing. She and her husband have been going to every single one of his games.
Wow.
And they live nowhere near.
Yeah.
That is dedication.
That is dedication. I was kind of happy to be done with all my travel sports duties back then. So,
oh my God.
And I won't even be able to watch the game because I do not get it, ESPN. So,
well, you don't get Disney Plus or anything like that?
We get Disney Plus.
So there's like a package. Disney Plus, Hulu,
you get ESPN Plus.
Oh, so it's not the same?
It's not the same. And that's what they're usually playing, but now they're in their ESPN is taking them over.
Listen,
but anyway,
do not talk to me about sports.
Yeah, I don't know anything more than sports.
Although we did just have 3 women from the U.S. National Hockey League move into our neighborhood temporarily. So I haven't met them yet, but I cannot wait to meet them.
That's cool.
I like hockey. I like hockey a lot. I have fond memories of going through a terrible breakup in the late 80s possibly early 90s.
You have fond memories.
Well,
Finish that
and
sentence
then
quickly.
I will. It was fond memory. It was the Spaniard. So it was fond memories.
Oh,
of
okay.
breaking
That was
up.
not a bad breakup then. Okay.
But it was very fond memories because my cousin who lived right next door to me in the building over had amazing tickets to the Ranger games. And first time I ever went to a Ranger game was right after I had broken up with him permanently. I went to this game. We had amazing seats, and I let it all rip.
Okay.
It was so great.
Encouraging the fighting and all that.
I was thrilled. I was like, kind of transferring all my, what's the right word, Melissa?
Aggression?
Not aggression, just frustration, pissed
Emotions.
offness. Yes, that's right. They're called emotions. I think I need another coffee. We are recording in the morning.
In the morning. I can tell you the other thing about recording in the morning is I actually just showered before this. And on our last episode, this was after we turned the mic off, you and I were talking about our products that we we are doing and our squeamish points as we age. You mentioned something about your neck.
The neck.
I'm not noticing the lines
lips.
Above my lips. Mm-hmm. And then you also mentioned something about chins. And like
chin
hairs that grow there.
There's not one. Let me tell you, if it was one, I would be fine with it. It's horrifying, actually.
That was like, oh, okay, we all have our things, you know. Some things I've never been a hairy person, so maybe that I'm just going to skeet away with that. So, well, I have to tell you, after my shower, I was like, chin hair. Maybe I should take my magnified mirror and look at my chin. And I was horrified at what I saw.
You have chin hair?
I think I do. I mean, I don't see it normally.
I think I do is not where I am at. It is
okay. So you don't need a
scary.
magnified mirror because can I just tell you, magnified mirrors are just scary.
No, they're
in
bad.
general.
Why did you do that to yourself?
Well, I wanted to see. I want to know, like, am I not noticing something that other people are noticing?
Last time you were like, squat over.
Well, what was I saying that for? I did not say squat over a mirror. Just looking in a mirror. Well, I didn't say.
In jest.
Yeah, looking in mirrors. Yeah, well, see, usually I just look in my regular mirror, and that's when the light hits it right. I can notice these lines around my mouth that I didn't see a year or two ago. But the magnifying mirror shows you all sorts of things you just never knew you had. So that's a scary thing.
So don't look in a magnifying mirror is really what we're saying here.
Yes. I think everyone throw that magnifying mirror out once you turn.
No, it's
I would say like
me.
20. I still remember the most horrifying experience I ever had. I might have said this before because it really scarred me. I was in my 20s and I was walking through one of those Nordstroms or big department stores or something. And this woman said, why don't you come over here and look in my magic mirror that shows the skin damage that you have built up. And she made me look in this mirror that I don't know what it was, but it looked like a horror show. And all I did, she wanted to sell me something, but I turned and ran.
Yeah.
And I avoided mirrors for like the next 6 months.
Listen, mirrors are, excuse me, I'm getting over.
You sound much better, by the way.
Thank you. This cold hit me hard and fast. It came from nowhere. It's not COVID, but my God, it has been a lot getting over. Before we get back to the mirror, or we can move on from the mirror, I have to say something. I went to TikTok, as one does, to figure out potentially a homeopathic or quick remedy to get rid of a cold. And because I was like, why not? You know, people put all these crazy things out there. And one of the ones that was actually the craziest and the easiest was chop up onions, put them in a bowl.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
And put them next to your bed.
And?
Well, Melissa, I did that. The next day, I was so much better because I was on death's door.
You sounded so like when someone is making a caricature of someone who has a cold.
Yeah,
that one day.
It was
and you sound so
bad.
much better today.
Oh, yeah. I feel
it's all about the onions then.
It's all about the onions.
Okay.
And does it do any harm to anybody? Not really. I mean, I'm not going to eat them because, as in the Golden Bachelor, I react weirdly to onions. That's all I'm
Who
going to
reacted
say.
weirdly to onions?
What were they talking about with the guacamole?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not talking.
That's what was.
Yeah,
okay.
no. Okay, so moving on, and we can get into the Golden Bachelor.
Yeah. So this was the episode where we're down to two lovely women Gary has to choose between, and they send them off to, where are they?
Costa Rica. Beautiful. Costa Rica, a jungle resort. I've never been to Costa Rica. I'd love to go.
Right.
That would be definitely one of the places I would like to go someday because it seems to have everything.
It does. I mean, I haven't been, but it's on my list as well. So he has these two women, and they both have a day adventure, and then they get to, I guess, decide if they want to share a room that night.
Now, why would you not? If you want to try to get to know this person, and
even if it's not.
Yes. In past Bachelor things, the fantasy suite was almost a given that you would have sex, right?
Yeah.
I think at this age, it's like, we don't need to do that to prove anything to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the whole conversation around intimacy and sex and asking important questions, I thought that was much more interesting than
will they or won't they?
Yeah, I don't really care if they did or not. And Gary said something, and I totally agreed with him. He was like, I know that in past suites they say what goes on, and he was like, and it's nobody's business.
Right.
And 100%, it is nobody's business what happens. But I thought the more interesting conversation happening was surrounding intimacy. And
right.
What is intimacy? And I thought sex is not intimacy. Sex is sex.
Mm-hmm.
And what is intimacy to you? And what is intimacy to them? Gary said he really loves pillow talk. To me,
so it's an antiquated term, but
it is. It
still has a real meaning.
It really does. And pillow talk in this case could just be laying your head next to somebody and talking throughout the night about everything.
Mm-hmm.
What scares you, what doesn't. Yes, potentially sex, but I just thought it was a really, really interesting conversation about being intimate and mature versus...
I wonder how much of the regular bachelors use that time to have pillow talk as well. Hey, you're off camera. You're not performing at that point.
Right. So you can have those conversations that maybe you didn't feel comfortable having on camera. And certainly I wouldn't have gotten that far because I wouldn't be having half the conversations on camera.
Right.
Like, as much as I am a loud and audacious person, I don't think I would be having those conversations on camera. That's not me.
You mean as far as the conversations that they had before they went into the fantasy suite?
Yeah. I wouldn't feel comfortable. And I don't think Teresa was comfortable either. She did not look comfortable on camera having...
Well, let's just go back to when we go through. First of all, we have the date with Leslie, and Gary likes to put her through the ringer. What was that first ATV driving? She's didn't seem that comfortable doing that. Even if you're an adventurous, athletic person, you don't do everything. So Costa Rica is known for the big zip lines, go around, yay, scream, have fun. But no, he makes her rappel down a waterfall.
50-foot cliff with water next to it.
Right. And did you see how strategically placed she was pretty much in the pounding water of the waterfall while he was off to the side watching her?
Gary, if nothing else, seems like a gentleman to me.
Right.
And I think he would have taken that side.
I think so,
but
too.
I guarantee you the producers were like, let's put Leslie in the water.
Yeah, she had never done this before.
No,
you have to learn how to do it. You have the water pounding. You're on TV with the guy you want to impress and marry next to you. That's a lot of pressure.
And she's afraid of heights.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even lean over that cliff. I get very shaky at open heights. I have climbed a rock wall to the top, and I don't know how tall that was, like in a climbing gym. I've done that. I was shaking the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. But I was doing it to get my friend out of her funk for her 40th birthday.
I've always wanted to do it. I want to go rock climbing. I said I
Oh, you
wanted to do
should.
it for my 50th birthday, and here we are, close to 60, and I haven't done it. So
I think
it's on my list.
you would be a little monkey bouncing off the walls.
I think I would enjoy it, but I
think you
do
would.
have a typical fear of heights. Not extreme, but enough. We all should have a fear of heights, don't you think?
I don't know. Well, no, because if we all had fears of heights, then people wouldn't build buildings and wash windows and
I mean, a healthy
and
fear.
repair
You
things.
don't do things.
No, I would be terrified. But back to Leslie and Gary, they rappel down this cliff. He takes her on the adventure, and he says she is excitement and thrilling.
She has a lot to live up to with his expectations, though. I mean, and she has commented that she does not want to be single.
Right.
I mean, she loves Gary, but it sounds like she's been looking for a while. She said she's never had a till death do us part.
Right.
You know, he had that. She's maybe has a little insecure issues based on past relationships. But I hope Gary is gentle on her because she seems a little vulnerable to me.
She seems incredibly vulnerable to me as well. It seems like she was married twice, she said, which I didn't realize. And not that that makes a difference, but then they did discuss living arrangements. And they showed that on this. They did not show that with Teresa. So let's get into Teresa.
So with Teresa, he goes on a horseback ride, which is not so arduous. Yeah.
Why is he not making Teresa do these big adventurous things?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
is she not game for it? Is that?
I don't know about that, but can I just say she is, what is she, 70? 70?
I think so.
70 or in her low 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about when you were in your 20s or something and you were picturing a woman in her 70s.
Oh my God.
Would Teresa be what you picture?
No.
Short shorts, cute little body on this horse riding. I'm like, have women changed or have just our concepts changed? Because she looks amazing. Both these women are athletic, flexible, and just like, I just feel that it's such a different look.
So
and
I think
I give Leslie a pass because she's early 60s. She's 10 years younger than Teresa. And
is she?
Well,
Leslie?
I thought she was 60s and she was 70. I'm rounding.
I don't remember their ages exactly, but back to your question of have women changed or just our perceptions? I think our life expectancy is longer, and I think we are doing things to help us live longer. Think about it. Diet, exercise, health, women's health. These were not things that were majorly looked at back in the 70s even. Again, we've talked about this. The Golden Girls were in their 50s. Those women were in their 50s.
I picture gray curly perms, getting your hair done once a week.
Right. I mean, that's like my mother-in-law. She would get her hair done once a week. She was a very traditional woman, and she didn't exercise. I really think it's different.
Well, I'm happy it's different as we are getting to that age.
Yeah, 100% as I creep up on 60.
Although I have a question about Teresa. This is still very surfacey. What is it? Why did they put shiny stuff on the end of her nose? Is that a thing these days?
It's contouring. It is.
To me, that's not contouring. To me, as a photographer, that's something I would Photoshop out.
Yeah, no, that is, I mean, I don't think it should have been as white as it was.
I notice it every time with her, particularly.
So maybe it's her doing her own makeup and, you know, it doesn't translate to TV.
I would hope someone does their makeup.
If you look at the Kardashians or any of the TikTok videos, the girls will put on the contouring and then they'll always start with that or leave with that white on their nose. But it's usually a little bit more blended in.
Maybe that's it.
I think it's to give the nose less definition or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if it was my imagination, but every time I saw it with her, and this time it was so deliberate, I'm like, it couldn't just be an accident.
I don't know about deliberate, but very evident. So Leslie had her moment in the suite. Teresa had her moment in the suite. At the beginning of it, Gary goes into the suite with Teresa saying he loves Leslie. He is all for Leslie.
He's thinking about Leslie when he's with Teresa.
Right.
So.
But then he has this sweet night with Teresa, and he comes out, he says to Teresa, I guess that he loves her, right? Was that the impression that you got?
I think so. Things changed in the night. The show's guiding us too.
It is. I mean, of course, they don't want you to guess, really. They want something to be, oh, it's obvious it's going to be Leslie, but now what about Teresa? Mm-hmm. So who knows? Maybe because of that, it is Teresa. But it's excitement and vitality versus safety and security. These are the two themes. And what would you choose?
Well, can I first say who I would think Gary should choose would be Teresa?
Oh, no. Okay, pass on that. Go ahead.
Not because I see him wanting safety and security more, but that's just my opinion about him. Okay. I want him, and I think he will choose Leslie.
Do you think he will?
I left that show thinking he will.
All right.
My daughter and I discussed it. She left the show thinking he's going to choose Teresa.
I'm afraid he's going to choose Teresa. Like, I don't want that for him necessarily, and I certainly don't want it for Leslie. I think Teresa is not going to leave New Jersey. I don't think she will. Plus, one of the things I had a bit of an issue with, I guess, is she still is working, and her career trajectory was fascinating.
That was interesting too, because true to our mixing up midlife crowd, she started this late in life. She was a homemaker until...
She was a homemaker. She started day trading, and then she got a job as a securities person or trader, I guess. I'm not sure what. She never really did say, but she did say she had to beat out a bunch of younger kids to get this job.
She found out she had this skill that she didn't even know she had, and that she loved it.
And she has 6 licenses. These are not easy licenses to get either. And I think because of the securities industry, I'm sure she was not allowed to say anything more about that. Right.
But you're asking me, going back to where you stood with the questions, security or adventure?
Yeah. Which would you choose?
I think I would choose adventure.
I would totally choose adventure.
I mean, I want to choose adventure with my own husband right now.
That's it.
If it wasn't him, it would be someone else, I guess.
I mean, safety and security are great. But what does that mean? And I think they mean like that it's your forever person, not financial security, because they're both at this point. Gary is totally financially secure, it seems. He retired at 55, so no problems there.
Right.
But what is safety? Versus it seems like
safety sounds boring to me.
They'll have a much more like sitting on the front porch, drinking their coffee versus...
And she'd be looking at him, touching him, and telling him how special he is.
I think we both know what we would choose. Your prediction on who Gary chooses is?
I was predicting Leslie. I think I still want Leslie. Mostly because I'd be so sad for her if he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm going to go 100% Leslie. I'm afraid he's going to choose Teresa, and I think that's a wrong choice.
What I hope is that he had a nice talk with Teresa, telling her what a special person he is, but that he's passionate and for Leslie, and she was okay with it. That's what is in my head. That would
be a really nice discussion, wouldn't it?
And they'll just kind of fake it. They've agreed to fake it to be disappointed and stuff for the
rest
of the show.
I like your fairy tale endings.
Yeah.
Those are good. I like that a lot.
That's my fantasy for the fantasy suite.
That is an excellent fantasy. On to your weekend watch and then our wrap up.
It's been kind of weak with the new shows lately. And last night, my husband actually found something. I guess he had heard in the Washington Post about this. And he said it might be a little scary, but we watched it. It's called A Murder at the End of the World. Heard of it?
Oh, we're watching that.
Oh, you are watching that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I thought you would like it was because it was Britt Marling, who we both watched that.
Oh,
It's not IO. It's
not.
2-letter OI. OI.
The OI.
The OI.
The O-
That's the OI woman.
OA.
OA. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the woman. His wife is the OA.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It
So why
is-
didn't you tell me about that?
Because I totally forgot. We thought we would start ripping through it. It was just released. I think it was like 4 days ago. We started watching it. They dropped 2 episodes and then they release on Tuesdays. Very good watch. The cinematography is beautiful. The tenseness is great.
Iceland, and some of it I thought was AI generated, but it might not be. Maybe it's just really good cinematography.
I totally agree with you on that. That is a great weekend watch. Totally forgot.
Good. And the other one we did a dive into an old show was 6 Feet Under, which I mentioned to you and you brought back memories, but we never had HBO back when that first came out. So
Is it on HBO now?
It's not on HBO now, but we're starting
Where are you
that. So
watching it?
it's on Netflix now. So those of you who don't know, it's about a family who has an undertaking business. One of the stars is the guy who went on to be Dexter, which that's a little too dark for me. I don't know if I could get into that one.
Not for me. Those are our weekend watches. Do we have anything else, Melissa?
I don't have anything else.
Oh, it's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
It is Thanksgiving. Today is Thanksgiving.
Oh, today is Thanksgiving. Thank you for telling me that.
Today is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We hope you are enjoying the people you're with.
Having some great smells and tastes. And to me, it's all about the smells, the tastes, and the feels of Thanksgiving.
We hope you enjoy. As always, you can find us on Instagram at Mixing Up Midlife. You can leave us a voicemail on our website, how you're enjoying your Thanksgiving, or make a comment about anything we've talked about today or any of our past podcasts. That is on our website, mixingupmidlife.com. Join us over in our Facebook group, Mixing Up Midlife. We'd love to have you join, talk, add to a discussion, or drop a topic.
All right. That sounds good. Thank you for wrapping that all up for us, Terry. And I better go on the Facebook group and see what has been happening.
Is happening over there? Yes. That's your job.
Yes.
All right. We will see you next week. Yes?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Bye.
Was that awkward?
I don't care.
Okay. Oh. Oh.
We're still recording.
Oh. Okay. Bye.